Okay, so this video is going to go through converting between fractions, percentages, and decimals. Now, percent just means out of 100, and it's easier for us to visualize and understand things out of 100 people or 100 things rather than, a really large number. So that's why we use percentages. Okay, for example, it's much easier to visualize and understand 25% or a quarter of some amount than it is to sort of visualize this number. Okay, believe it or not, that's actually 25%. So 1526 out of 6104 is 25%, or 1526 is a quarter the amount of 6104. Okay. Now, just visually, if the big bar here is the whole, then 1/10 is 10%, 1/5 is 20%, 1/4 is 25%, 1/3 of the bar is 33 1/3%, or you might see it like this. Okay, so that's a third, 333 recurring, and half is 50% of the whole amount. Okay, so percent means out of 100. And it's given by that percentage symbol, and we have a strategy to work with. So for converting a fraction to a percentage and a decimal, we want to rewrite the fraction as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. Then we read off the percentage. Okay, so think of the fraction as a division to convert to a decimal. Okay, so for example, 13/25, convert that fraction to a percentage. What we need is a denominator of 100. So how do you get from 25 to 100? You need to times by 4. And to create an equivalent fraction, you need to make sure that you times the top by 4 as well. So 13/25 is equal to 52/100. So that into a percentage is just 52%, because the 52 out of the 100. Okay. Then if we want to convert it to a decimal, we have to use our strategy for dividing by 100. So you've got 52 divided by 100, which is that one, and then you know that the place value goes down to. Okay, so 50 goes down to, it's in the tens, goes down 1, then goes into tenths, and then the 2 ones goes into the hundredths. So 52 hundredths, or 5 tenths and 2 hundredths. Alternatively, you have the one where you move the decimal point. So dividing by 100 says, take that once, take that twice, put it there, put a 0. The answer is 0.52. Okay. Next one, strategy for converting a decimal to a percentage and a fraction. So we convert the decimal to a fraction by reading the decimal as something hundredths. Okay, so that'll make sense when we go through the example. You read off the percentage and you simplify the fraction. All right, so 0.4, we know that's 4 tenths. All right. But you need to convert that into hundredths. So 4 tenths is actually 40 hundredths. Okay, so I should have a picture somewhere here. So 4 tenths, 4 tenths is here. And that's actually 40 hundredths. So 10 hundredths make a tenth there, 20 hundredths, 30 hundredths, and 40 hundredths make the 4 tenths. Sorry, I should have gone times 10 on 10 makes the 40 hundredths. Okay, so 0.4 is 0.40, or 40 hundredths. Now I've got it in that out of 100 amount. So you can say that 0.4 is just 40%. And then the other one to go down to a fraction is you write it as on hundredths, and then you simplify down. So if you divide that by 10, divide that by 10, you get 4 on 10. Divide that by 2, divide that by 2, you get 2 on 5. Okay. All right, the next one, we go from a percentage to a fraction and a decimal. So first you convert the percentage to a fraction, because you know that percent means out of 100. Then you simplify the fraction, and you interpret the fraction found in step 1 as a division. Okay, so we'll go through that. So convert 74% to a fraction and a decimal. So first what they've done is they've gone 74% is 74 and 100. All right, and then they've simplified the fraction. So they've divided that by 2, divided that by 2. Gives you 37 on 50. Now, convert 74% to a decimal. We again go 74% is 74 and 100. And then we know that dividing by 100 means shifting the place value 2 down. Okay, so 7 tens goes down to ones to tenths, and 4 ones goes down to hundredths. So ones or wholes goes to tenths, then hundredths. Alternatively, 74 divided by 100, you go put a decimal point in front. Put a decimal point where it's supposed to be, because 74.0 is the same as 74. And then dividing by 100 means moving that 2 places to the left. So the answer is 0.74. All right. So let's do maybe a couple more. Let's convert 17 on 20 to a percentage. All right, so our first step is to make it as a denominator of 100. So how do I get a denominator of 100 here? I need to times by 5 on 5. That gives me denominator of 100. And then 20 times 5 is 100. And then minus 3 times 5 is 15. So the answer is 85 on 100. Now that as a percentage would then be 85%. Okay. Then as the decimal, you would go 85 on 100. You can either think of the place value shifting, so the 5 would go down to 5 hundredths, or we think of it as moving the decimal point 1, 2. Okay, so the answer is 0.085. All right. So those steps are pretty much the basics. Okay, percentages just means out of 100, so you need to convert your numbers to have a denominator of 100. Okay, I hope that helps.